What's up, everybody? Welcome to Human Innovation Tarot. My name is Eddie with Imagine Life Development Center. And today I'm just hopping on real quick to do an impromptu 11-11 reading. If you're new to my channel, I would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to the channel if you find this information useful or beneficial for you. All right, we're just going to jump straight in and we're going to see what the Divine wants everybody to know. What does the Divine want us to know in the 11-11 energy right now? And I have a few other things that I want to mention, but we are going to start here. Going to start here and see right. So we're going to start off with what we need to work on, what we need to be aware of, what we need to surrender. Because it's human nature for us to focus on the things that we want, right? But a lot of times what we fail to understand is that in order for us to get the things that we want, we have to understand what within us needs to change in order to get them. So whether it's changing our beliefs, changing our patterns, changing our behaviors, letting go of things, starting things, anything that needs to change within us to become energetically, vibrationally aligned with the things that we desire. So it's not simply enough to just desire something, to just want something, right? It requires change. We have to become a new version of ourselves in order for life to become different. We can't, it's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing and expecting a different result, right? And we're coming to the end of 2025, which means we're coming to the end of the last 9 years. So this 9-year cycle that we've been going through, and a lot of times the things that we're not realizing is that while we tend to experience each year separately, we forget, or not really forget, that's not a good word for it. Rather, no one's ever taught us or told us that each cycle of our lives represents a theme. So in numerology, cycles happen in 9 year periods. So the first 9 years of your life, the second, the third, however many you've been through. I'm approaching my 5th 9-year cycle. I turned 44 this year. So as we enter 2026 or next September, so obviously a long ways from now, but next September, I will turn 45, and that will be officially my 5th 9-year cycle. So each 9-year cycle that we go through has a theme attached to it. And I'm not going to get super into the numerology of it, but it has to do with your turning points and it has to do with your pinnacles. So if you want to go research that online, look up your pinnacles in regards to numerology, and then look at your turning points in numerology. And if you're interested and you would like to have all of that done for you, as well as a complete report with all your numerology information, including your pinnacles and your turning points, and a breakdown of what they are, what they mean, and all the stuff translated for you, you can send me an email. All the information is in the description box, and I do offer full numerology reports. It's like a 50-60 page report that you'll get. It's got everything, right? But my point is that as we're going through these cycles, each cycle has a theme attached to it. So I've been in the last 9 years, so that would have put me at 36 So the birthday that I turned 36, basically until September of this coming year, which will be 45. So 9 years ago, 2017, wherever I was in 2017, all the way up until now. And really, if I had to just briefly, I don't want to, take up all the time explaining myself here in my story, but just to kind of give you guys an example from my life, the theme of the last 9 years of my life have had everything to do with self-discovery. Me really learning and discovering who it is that I am, what my purpose in life was, why I'm here, what I should be doing, what I should be focusing on, and really growing and evolving consciously and intentionally into that person. Now, I wasn't conscious and I wasn't being intentional before that. A lot of crap had to happen in my life to kind of wake me up from the matrix, wake me up from the programs of the modern world, modern society, who I was told I had to be, who I thought I had to be, following the rules and the laws, grow up, go to school, get a degree, find a corporate 9-to-5 job that has insurance and benefits, and, work your ass off, and, maybe you'll get a raise, and, stay at a company, and then you'll get more vacation time, and I get, 3 weeks a year vacation off. Wow. All the things. That's just following a plan that was handed to me because I didn't know any better. I didn't know what I know now. I didn't know that I could create my own reality. I didn't know the power that existed inside of me to embrace all possibilities. And so now that this last 9 years is coming to an end for me, as I step forward into 2026, the next 9 years will be essentially the beginning of the real me. It's my new beginning. It's a whole new life. It's a whole new me. It's a whole new Eddie. It's a whole new trajectory. It's now, instead of me learning and discovering who I am and why I'm here, I'm going to be stepping foot into embodying that and living it and making those changes and becoming that person and creating a whole different life. That's how I envision my future going forward. And so what I've been spending time doing, and again, this is just an example of the things that you guys could all be doing. And in my opinion, I would recommend doing, because that's the energy that we're in, that's the energy of this year, is what needs to change? What needs to change within your life? What do you need to close out? What needs to be left behind? Right? This is really about integration, reflection. It's the last moment where you say, okay, if I have to get really honest, brutally honest with myself, if there was no turning back, or better yet, a better question is, if I died a week from now, or I was going to die 2 or 3 days from now, how would I live? If I was going to unapologetically live my life the way that I wanted to, and I knew I had nothing to lose because I was going to die, so there's nothing left to be afraid of because I'm going to die, what would I do? What have I been preventing, stopping myself from doing? What have I been scared of doing? Where have I been holding back? Why? Where have I limited myself? Where have I made myself small? How have I betrayed myself? How have I betrayed my ability to embrace what's possible for me, even if it was just a matter of, just try. Just taking one small step towards a new you, a new future, right? Well, most of us are locked in to our patterns because we're locked into our past. And until we resolve the issues of our past, which is what this 9-year energy is all about, is not just this year. It's not about cleaning up and resolving just this year. It's about cleaning up and resolving the last 9 years altogether. And you never lose if you learn. So it's about integration. What does that mean? It means learning all the lessons of the last 9 years and embodying them, applying. It's application. Integration is just another word for application. Applying the lessons of the last 9 years and then doing something with it. Not just turning it into knowledge, like, okay, well, I learned that and I learned that. I learned that lesson. I did that, blah, blah, blah. It's actually applying it, doing something with it. Don't just sit on the information, use it. Practice it, become it, utilize it, whatever word you want to use for that. So that's what the remainder of this year is asking us to do. What have you learned not only in 2025 so far, what have you learned in the last 9 years since 2017? And I would venture to say, my suggestion, my advice is to take this seriously. Take this seriously. Actually sit down with, a pen and some paper or a journal and literally write down what you've learned. Sit with yourself and have reflection. Actually put pen to paper. Turn off the distractions. Turn off your phone. Turn off your computers. Turn off all the things. Sit and focus. Go within yourself and have, take 30 minutes, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. And just do some soul searching, reflection. Where was I in 2017? Write it down. What are some major things that have happened to my life, to me and in my life in the last 9 years? Write those things down. What have been the biggest lessons? Write those things down. What have been the biggest challenges? Write those things down. What have been the biggest wins? Write those things down. What have been the biggest losses? Write those things down. What are you still confused about? Write those things down. What are you waiting for answers on? Write those things down. What about the blessings? What about your desires? What things have you manifested? What things have changed for the better? Like it's like really doing an audit of yourself and writing all those things down. And then, write down 3 to 5 of your top takeaways, and then write kind of like, how can I apply these? What are things that I've learned that I can do different? How can I start applying these lessons to my life to get a different result, to become a new me? And a lot of times, people who come out here and look or watch tarot readings and get readings and things like that, you're underestimating the power that you have to get your own answers. And instead of putting your future, putting your desires, and putting, all of that into the hands of a stranger online, a tarot reader, the way that you should be doing it is you should already have an idea of what's right and what's true and what's real for you. And then when you come out here to YouTube, or you watch readings, or you get a reading from whoever or whatever, those things should be clarification about things that you are already sensing, right? Now, it's different if you come out here and you ask for a blind spot. Well, obviously, a blind spot is something you're not aware of. That's a different question. But if you're not out here asking about your blind spots specifically, then you should already have an idea about something, a nudge, a hunch, an intuitive inkling of something that you've already connected to within yourself. And then when you come out here, either those things resonate with you or they don't. Now, if you're watching collective generic tarot readings, then it's probably, in my opinion, that's not going to serve you, because those things are generic and most of the time they could apply to anybody. If I'm going to be honest with you, I don't watch tarot readings anymore. I stopped watching tarot readings like 2.5 years ago. I just completely stopped. I do not watch any tarot readings online anymore. I get readings though, and I get readings from one person that I trust. And she's the only person that I get readings from. And her readings are the only readings that I watch because they apply to me specifically. That's it. But I don't get on YouTube, and I don't consume other readers' content anymore because it's just not helpful. And I'm not saying that for you guys it hasn't been helpful. If it has, that's great. But I'm saying that for most people, it's generic. And if you think and you try hard enough, you can make it apply because it's broad. It's broad. The information is so broad, it can apply to anybody. So these cards are intended to be tools. And they're tools to help us grow and evolve and become an empowered creator, the magician energy, so that we can go out and we can create the reality that would be fulfilling for us. These cards are not here to tell us what's going to happen, tell us what to do, tell us who to be. They're just tools that are intended to help us navigate and make changes and get on our course, get on our path, and hopefully, do the things that we could be doing to get the results that we desire. So if you take this seriously and you sit with yourself and you go within and you get those answers, then when you come out here, you'll get clarification, you'll get confirmation of things that you've already been sensing, because you actually took the time to evaluate yourself and audit yourself. But you can't do it distracted. You have to really sit down and take it serious to get serious answers. Now, lastly, I did just post another video called. I posted it, I think, yesterday, or maybe even this morning. I forget. I think it was yesterday. Maybe it was this morning. I forget. But a video called "The End of a Difficult Road. Positive change is on the way if you're willing to participate." Right. So that's a separate video that I just posted. There may be something in that video that you might want to go watch after you've watched this video. And then I have, I'll be coming back to post another video that the divine has put on my heart, but I'm not gonna get into all that. So where we're gonna start here is what we need to work on, what we need to be aware of, what we need to release, and what things within us need to change. Now, this isn't gonna, obviously, the cards that I'm pulling aren't necessarily going to resonate with all of you, but it should resonate with most of you. And then I will take a quick look at just whatever else the divine wants us to know for this 1111 energy, which, by the way, we've just begun Mercury retrograde. So that's going to be here until the end of November. So we're still working through that energy. It really pretty much just started. So we're in Scorpio season. We got retrograde, and then we have then obviously today is we're doing this 1111 energy here. All right, and then let me just get the last. Let me get the first set of cards out here, and I'll just have them all out on the table so I can actually look at all the energy together. And then whatever else the divine wants us to know, I will grab the cards for that as well. Okay. So let's start up here with the surrender cards. So the first surrender card that we have right here. So this, again, for many of you, these are the things. This top row here, and then this middle row. These are the cards that are talking about things that we need to change, we need to focus on, things we need to let go of. The first one out is surrender to people pleasing. The card says, speak your needs and be true to yourself. Focus on your own happiness instead of always trying to make everyone else happy. So for many of you, maybe the last 9 years, maybe this year, or maybe your entire life, you've struggled with people pleasing. I certainly did. I think that is I think that's probably true for most people who consider themselves empaths or highly sensitive people, or the types of people that would consume this type of content, right? I feel a lot of people in the tarot/spiritual community, right, are usually people who feel, different. You feel spiritual. You're very sensitive. You're highly sensitive. Maybe you've had a lot of, interesting experiences, or you just feel like, you're kind of an alien in a world that just feels really challenging, heavy, difficult, or just unusual to you, right? So regardless if that resonates or not, you can still have people-pleasing tendencies, right? And this is also for those of you who might resonate with being an anxious attachment style. So, when you have challenges, or when it comes to love and romance, you want to overinvest, you want to overfunction, you're hypervigilant, you want to pursue, you want to give, you want to do anything because that's your attachment strategy. And so that could be part of the energy as well. So the next card out is we have surrender to trust. And this card says, trust yourself and your decisions. Don't be swayed by others people's strong opinions about what to do. Take action and be confident that you have chosen the right path. And this actually has to do with even what I was just saying a second ago, by sitting down, writing things, and you learning how to communicate with the divine inside of you, learning to trust your intuition. And that's really the core energy of what this is about, is learning how to trust you, because the more confident that you are in you, then the easier it will become in regards to you embracing it is who that you are, right? Embracing who you are, unapologetically embracing who you are, and not caring anymore about what people think, or being different, or being weird, or being whatever. And also trusting your spiritual gifts, trusting the plan, trusting your heart's desires, trusting that nudge inside of you that's been pushing you or calling you, or, showing up again and again and again in your life, urging you to maybe step out of your comfort zone, change jobs, let someone from your past go, let a current person go, forgive somebody else, right? Our intuition is always telling us. It's always telling us. The divine is always communicating with us, whether it's through synchronicities and external messages, whether it's through feelings and emotions that manifest in our body, whether it's through dreams, whether it's through, channels like this, teachers, mentors, professional assistants down here. That's a mentor energy. Like learning how to really trust yourself. But to trust yourself, you have to know yourself. And most people don't want to spend the time to actually go through the process of getting to know who it is that they are. And if that's like putting the cart before the horse. And the bottom line is there is a method. There's a method to doing this in a way that it needs to be done. It's like we can't keep avoiding ourselves and be in ignorance of ourselves and lack awareness of self, and yet understand what it is we're supposed to do, understand the type of partner that we want to be in a relationship, what type of job, what type of career. Like, confusion is an absence of clarity, and the absence of clarity, most importantly, is the clarity of self. Because if you really, really, really know who you are, then you understand your values, your beliefs, you understand your personality, you understand the things that are most important to you, the driving forces inside of you. You know what your boundaries are. You know what your non-negotiables are in life. You know what you'll tolerate, what you won't tolerate. And so the more clear we are about who we are, then the easier it is for us to trust who it is that we are. And because the divine is residing within us, it's our soul, our consciousness, it helps us, get clear, get into clear alignment with the divine, or another word to say is your intuition. Interchangeable for me, one and the same things. God, source, the universe, your intuition, it's all the same because it's you, right? And in the Bible, Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. And Jesus was obviously talking about, the force that God is, the dwelling place of the divine. It's like that dwelling place is in you because you are that force. You're a fractal. You're an you are an individuated expression of that force, having a human experience with the rest of us out here that are doing the same thing, right? So your intuition is tied to the divine. And so when you know yourself and you trust yourself, in essence, that unlocks the door to you trusting the divine and hearing the divine, or / hearing your intuition more clearly. So then you will know. You'll begin to learn and know what's in alignment with you and what's not, because you'll learn how your intuition speaks to you, the ways that it manifests, and then you'll learn the language of your intuition. And that's when you really start stepping into your true power, right? So I could probably do like a whole another 30 minutes just on that one card. So, but we got to move on to the next one. So we have surrender to effortlessness. Yeah, there's a sense that a lot of you guys you're your own worst enemy. You are your own, you're cock blocking yourselves. You're creating challenges. It's through self-sabotage or just overthinking, right? 8 of Swords type of energy, 9 of Swords type of energy, even 7 of Swords energy, even 5 of Swords energy. A lot of mental chaos, mental conflict, believing stuff that's not true. And because you believe stuff that's not true, you project that out into your reality and you create challenges that don't need to be there. You overcomplicate things. You make things unnecessarily difficult. They don't have to be, so that energy is attached to this, but let me read the card. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. It's learning to live your life in alignment with the divine, which coincides with everything else I've already said. Like it's going to be hard for you to live in alignment with the divine if you can't hear the divine, you don't know how to speak with the divine or how to trust yourself. So it goes right back to the trust. But if you can learn to trust, you can learn to live with the open hand. And there's a video on, you just go to my videos. I have a video that explains what that means, so I don't have to re-explain it here. You learn to live with the open hand, right? Basically, it just means that if my hand is open, somebody can put something in my hand, like what, here's this mouse, boom. And then it can be taken out of my hand. I'm not holding on. I'm allowing things to come to me, and I'm allowing things that need to be removed. Because sometimes there's a time in life, or times in life, when things are meant to be given to me for just a short season, not forever. But sometimes we hold on to those things because we think we're supposed to have it forever. I'm supposed to have this job forever. I'm supposed to have this partner forever. I'm supposed to have this boyfriend, this girlfriend, this husband, this situation. I'm supposed to do this thing forever. No, not necessarily. So when you live with the open hand because you trust, now you're living in effortlessness because now you're allowing the divine to move through you, and you just have trust. And this is just another word for faith. Faith is essentially trusting that things are going to work in your highest good, even when you don't see the outcome or the end result. You don't know what the end result's going to be. You don't know what the outcome's going to be yet. There's uncertainty. There's a big question mark, but you're trusting anyway. It's like, okay, I don't understand completely why I'm being given this thing right now. I don't completely understand right now why this thing is being taken away. But I trust that if it's being given, I need it. And I'm trusting that if it's leaving, it needs to go. Now, that's not an excuse for being, ignorant or stupid or dumb or making bad decisions. Like, I'm talking about when we're in alignment with what our trusting our intuition. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about because we keep repeating the same mistakes and we haven't learned our lessons. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to doing things from a place of trust and faith, trusting your intuition. And then we have surrender to joy. A key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling during both the hard and easy times. Keep surrendering to more joy. So essentially saying that this card is essentially saying that a lot of you out there are just so focused on the loss, focused on the betrayals, focused on the negative, focused on lack, focused on scarcity, focused on what isn't working, right? What's wrong is always available, but so is what's right. And so the divine is saying it's up to you. You get to decide if you want to have joy or not. That's why it's saying surrender to joy. Basically saying if you surrendered to joy, you'd have it. Which also goes back to, the surrender to effortlessness of saying basically it's up to you. You could have this right now, even if you didn't have things to warrant it. In other words, well, I can't be happy unless I have more money. I can't be happy unless I get a new job. I can't be happy unless I have a relationship. That's not true. Those are beliefs and those are stories and meanings that you've told yourself. And because you choose to believe those stories, you get your current reality. The divine is saying you could choose a different belief. You could choose to say, hey, everything's working out in my highest good. Everything's working out in my favor. Hey, I may not have it yet, but I'm going to, and I'm going to have it, and it will be mine. And it's coming soon. And even though you don't necessarily feel it in that moment, you're still going to choose to believe it because you didn't get the way that you were overnight, and you're not going to change necessarily overnight. But that doesn't mean that you can't have breakthroughs, instantaneous breakthroughs, because that's always possible too. It's just how much the depth of your ability to surrender will determine how fast things can change. If you want an instantaneous, miraculous breakthrough, that just requires a different level of surrender. That's complete surrender. When you completely surrender something and you go to complete detachment of needing something, detachment from outcomes, and you're just surrendering, which is the whole spiritual concept of being and not doing. Like, hey, I'm just here and I'm just going to be in this moment, and I'm just going to be grateful for just right now. Whatever I can find to be grateful for. And I'm going to surrender. I have a desire. Surrendering doesn't mean letting go of your desire. Having a desire is the purpose of being a creator. Like having an imagination. We have an imagination, we have desires because we are here to create. There's a reason for that. Surrendering doesn't mean letting go of a desire. It just means letting go of how you think that desire should manifest. That's all. You're not the one who's in control of how something manifests. That's in the divine's hand. You're in control of just simply embodying the energy and the focus and the concept, putting the order in, right? You go to a restaurant and you order food, you don't get to decide exactly how the food's going to come out. You don't get to determine the exact portions that it comes out in, or the plate that it's on, or the way that they cooked it, or the seasons that they used. You just look at a menu and it's like, all right, that sounds good. I'm going to order it. You go to a restaurant you've never been to before and you ordered something you've never had. You don't get to determine how they cook it. The chef is the one who cooks it. And you're just waiting. Like, you put your order in, I want that. And eventually it comes to you and you get to eat it and you get to try it and see if you like it. That's how that works. So surrender to joy. You're in control. You can have joy now if you choose it. All right. That's kind of like on this is kind of like on the collective level. Now let's look at on the individual level, meaning like these are kind of like the big categories, and these are more like nuances of things, right? So let's start here. This card says reaching. You were trying to justify what you are doing. And then the bottom says, don't make excuses, just do the right thing. So yeah, this is just a card of justification. It doesn't mean you're necessarily having to do anything bad, although some of you could be, because we have this sneaky card at the bottom of the deck. You go behind someone's back to get what you want. Just be honest about it so you don't have to hide, right? So this is about, being sneaky or hiding things. And then this is here saying you're trying to justify what you're doing. And so that can mean different things to different people, but it means something. So what are you justifying? Are you justifying your anger? Are you justifying your behavior? Are you justifying your habits? Are you justifying your addictions? Are you justifying your laziness? Are you justifying your procrastination? Are you justifying your beliefs? Like, what are you justifying that's not serving you, is what this is saying. The next one's slow to act. You wait too long to make a move, so you lose out. Don't overthink, which we talked about up here. Surrender to trust, not overthinking. Surrender to effortlessness. Don't overthink every little thing. Just act. Just do it. The Nike slogan, right? And so a lot of you guys have been missing out on life and missing out on opportunities and missing out. Just life is passing you by because you spend so much time thinking about things or overthinking things that you're afraid to make a choice. You're afraid to mess up. You're afraid to fail. You're afraid to just get your feet wet or get your hands dirty. Roll up your sleeves. Stop wondering about whether it's going to be the perfect outcome. Stop wondering if it's going to turn out exactly the way that you want. Stop wondering if you invest, if something else, it's like, if you get on the journey and you get on the path, the divine is going to honor your effort and honor your intentions. So even if the next thing that you put your hands, you put your energy and your effort and your time and you invest in, the next thing you start investing in, even if that thing doesn't turn out exactly the way you think that it was supposed to work out, the divine's like, it's okay, because that thing is actually just a detour. It's just a segue. It's just a staircase. It's just a form of transportation to get you to the next place that you're supposed to be. But there is a reason for it. So we have to stop looking at life through the lens of black and white, good, bad, right, wrong, duality. It's like, no. Get out of black and white thinking. Get out of good, bad, right, wrong. Get out of that type of judgment, and start looking at it as this is just part of the journey. This is this is a piece of possibility. Even though it seems like this piece has it seems like it was wasted. Nothing is ever wasted until we say it's wasted. You never lose if you learn. And part of the learning is part of the piece often that's required for us to get the rest of the full picture of the things that we desire. Pretending. You act like it's all fine, but you aren't happy. Unpack those emotions to see what's true for you. Now, this also has to do with the sneaky energy in terms of wearing a mask, faking, hiding yourself, being untrue to yourself. You not being unapologetically who you are. But it's also, pretending that things aren't as bad as they are. It's also pretending things that better than they are, instead of you just embracing how things really are, right? See things for what they are, but don't see them worse than they are. See them for what they are. In other words, be sober, be realistic. Like, okay, this is what this is. I'm living in reality, but don't make them worse than they are, right? And once you've done that, then it's time to see them better than they are. Like, what's possible beyond this? So this is just you being honest with yourself and allowing yourself to feel, because you have to feel to heal. No change. Some of you, this card says, you refuse to change even though you need to. You're stubborn. You're simply stubborn. Or you just don't want to, or you just, whatever your reason is. And maybe that's the thing, is you feel like life hasn't given you a big enough reason or a good enough reason yet to change. And so you put yourself in purgatory, you put yourself in hell, because now you're ensuring that you're never going to get anything different or anything better, because you're not willing to change so that your life can change. And the divine it has two non-negotiables that it's never going to violate. It's never going to violate your free will, and it's never going to give anything that's not in your highest good. So if you use your free will choice to not change, then the divine's like, well, I can't bring you anything because you've made a decision that you don't want to change. And if you don't change, I can't assist you or help you or do anything. I can't bless you. I can't produce anything for you. I have to be okay with the fact this is the choices you've made. And now you get to live in an unchanging life that's probably going to be very unfulfilling for you, because it's definitely it's never going to get better than what it is right now, but it could always get worse. That's the thing. Problems always show up no matter what. Things can always get worse. But ironically, in order for things to get better, in my experience, like 95% of the time, it requires effort on our part. It requires participation, at the very least, it requires participation with the divine. A willingness to partner with the divine and say, okay, I'm willing to do whatever it is that you lead and guide me to do to have the life that I desire. But if you're happy not living in change, okay. So the bottom of this card says, this phase is over and it's time to move on. It's time to move on from that version of you or that person or that job or whatever. So change could be anything. It's like, it's time to embrace change. Allow the old to die and allow the new to be birthed. Up in the air. You can't seem to finish what you've started. And I've been guilty of this. I've been guilty of probably almost all of these, if I'm being really honest. Do one tiny thing each day until you get it done. And I think I said that up here on one of these cards, right? Like just start. Just put one foot in front of the other, and not worry about micromanaging or investing in, oh, I'm going to fail, I'm going to screw up, and what if I do it wrong, or what if it's the wrong choice? Living with the open hand in mind. It's like, just do one little thing that you can do, but get that momentum going. That's wand energy in tarot. Passion, inspiration, desire, creation, like get that energy going. It's like a lot of our problems are simply just that we don't move enough. We don't have enough energy going through our bodies, And so if you're tired all the time, or you're unhealthy and you're not taking care of the vessel, then you're going to feel like shit all the time. And if you feel like shit all the time, then of course you're not going to feel like doing anything. So one of the things that I've done recently is I've almost completely quit caffeine. That's been my number one addiction for many years, and I've been doing great. I did have half of an energy drink today. So, it was like 3 or 4 days, cold turkey, had a little step back because I had half of one today. But each time I'm like, all right, we're just one step closer, because the craving is dying. I don't have it like I did, and even today I took it and I was like, it didn't do anything for me. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting close. I'm getting close to never needing this ever again, but I've been feeling much better. That's the thing. Even in just like a week, 5 days of just what I've done so far, I'm beginning to notice the change in my body. So that's just an example from me. Okay. So it's not perfection. It's about progress. All right, let's move down here. So many of you guys have great achievement waiting for you and great achievement coming in 2026. So the divine is saying your blessings you're going to get your blessings. They're coming. Great achievement is coming. For some of you, it's romance. You have kindred partnerships here. For some of you, it's new friendships, new communities, new groups of people. But for a lot of you, it's the love and the partnership that you've been waiting on. Now, this professional assistance energy is two different things. Well, actually, potentially three different things. So a lot of you, if you've been feeling stuck and you know that you've tried everything and you've still not been able to get a result, the divine is saying, again, to not be, egotistical or prideful, like get help. Hire a coach. That's one of the best things that I ever did in my entire life was invest in myself. I got a coach. I started taking personal development classes and courses. I started reading self-help and self-development books. I started investing in me. Now, books and courses and things that you can only consume, you can't interact with them like a coach. Those things have limitations because they're not a living human being that can speak to you and view and see your blind spots that you can have a conversation with and have accountability with. Somebody who's got, who's a little bit further along in their journey than you, who can empower you, or a lot further along in their journey than you, who can hand you the tools, the assistance, the resources, and the assistance that you need to get the breakthrough that you deserve. If you allow yourself to be valuable enough to yourself to feel like you deserve it, you have to give yourself permission through self-worth to feel deserving of those things. Now, the second energy is about your choice. In other words, a lot of you are being called to become that person for somebody. You have a destiny, you have a calling, you have a gift to be able to help people, support people. whatever that looks like that for you, whether it's counseling, coaching, being a reader, being your own tarot reader, being a nanny, being a babysitter, being a school teacher, being a nurse. There's all kinds of different ways that you could be assisting somebody, and you have a call on your life to be that. And so this is confirmation from the divine about that thing that you've been overthinking, up in the air, you can't seem to finish, back and forth. You've been on, like this guy right here, on the little seesaw thing, going back and forth about it because you feel unclear, uncertain, and you don't know. Well, this is your sign. This is your confirmation that you're meant to do that thing. You're meant to serve that role. You're meant to help people. You're meant to be, some of you could be an advisor or a consultant. There's lots of different hats that this could apply to, right? I thought there was a third one here. So getting a coach, getting help with certain things, or becoming the help that other people need. I'm not thinking of the third thing. Maybe it was just two. If it comes back to me, then I'll jump back here. So then you have this, the angel of the four directions. So basically what this card means is essentially just asking help. Asking for help from the divine. Asking for help from your guides or your angels, right? Like spiritual language here. Angels, guides, and all those woo-woo spiritual things, right? Fairies. Like, to me, it's all the same thing. It's spiritual assistance. You're asking for divine assistance. You're asking for help from God, source, the universe, the invisible forces that we can't see that assist us. Could even be from loved ones that have passed on to the other side. But this card is essentially saying, ask for help. You have not because you ask not. Ask for the signs. Ask for the synchronicities. Ask for the resources. Again, get out a pen and piece of paper and write it down. Write down what you want. Write down what you need. Say it out loud. Say it inside of your mind. Okay, this is what I need. I need answers about this thing in my life right now. I feel stuck and I don't know how to get unstuck. Give me the answers. Give me the solution. Send me the person. Send me the resource. Send me the book. Send me the course. Send me the sign. Send me the friend. Sit down. Write it out. What do you want? What do you need right now? Do you need support? Do you need answers? Do you need resources? Right? I need a new job. I'm not making enough money. Okay. I need a new job. I'm not making enough money. I need money. I would like to be making this much money, ideally. Whatever it is. I'm lonely. I would like to find, a loyal, loving partner who accepts me for who I am, who shares the same values, the same beliefs, who is in a good place in their life. They're healthy. They're loyal. They have a purpose in life that they're doing. So they're not just sitting on the couch, watching football, eating potato chips and screaming at the coach through the TV that the coach sucks. And what is he doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, write it down, ask for it, set the intention. And stop and don't get caught up into all the law of attraction and all these other videos about how to manifest and exactly it's because that's overthinking. Because everybody out there, has got an opinion in YouTube land is going to tell you that there's a right and wrong way to do it. Do you think the divine doesn't understand that you're making an invitation? The divine isn't micromanaged like that. The divine doesn't need. This is the bullshit lies of manifestation, spirituality, and all of that. Is that people will tell you there's this right and wrong way, as if the divine can only be spoken to in some perfect, specific, unique way. And unless you have the exact code and you know exactly the right code to speak, then you're screwed. You can't do it. Really, it's really pretty simple. Most of it just has to come down to your beliefs, what you believe. And the second thing is how serious you are when you ask. If you ask for something and you really don't believe you're going to get it, then you're probably not going to get it because you don't believe it. You're just saying it. right? Like me, and you say, I want $1 million. How come I don't have it? Like, well, because you don't actually believe that you'll get it, right? That's just being honest with ourselves. If you ask the divine for something, you have to mean it. You have to be all in. Like, this is what I want. I need this. I want it. And then the third rule is you have to understand that the divine is not going to give you something that's not in your highest good. So if I ask for $1 million and that's not what's in my highest good right now, I'm probably not going to get it, even if I do believe it, even if I do feel worthy. Because the divine knows better. The divine's like, that's like handing a 3-year-old a loaded gun. Should a toddler be running around with a loaded gun that's ready to shoot? You give a toddler a 9mm pistol and it's ready, and the toddler's just running around with it. Is that safe? Is that wise? No. The divine's not going to give you, I think I said this in my last video. There's a verse in the Bible where Jesus says, if you ask God for a piece of bread, God's not going to give you a snake, a poisonous snake. Now, the actual verse says, which of you, being a parent, a father or a mother who has a child, which of you being a parent, when your child comes to you and asks for food, your child comes to you and asks for a piece of bread, which of you is going to give them a snake, a poisonous snake? Or you're going to give them a scorpion, something that's painful, that's deadly, that's toxic, right? You wouldn't. So God, source of the universe, the divine, can't give you something that's not in your highest good either. So pretty much those three things. It's not, it's not like, all these hoops and all these jumps and these manifestation rituals and techniques and all this mind, the psychological chaos that people talk about in YouTube land about, there's this right and wrong way to manifest. And if you don't do it this exact way, then you've done it wrong. Like, that's people trying to act like they're a guru. They're trying to act like they know, it's like, well, if you know so much about manifestation, how come you haven't manifested $1 million? How come you haven't manifested the perfect man or the perfect woman in your dreams? How come you haven't manifested the Ferrari and the mansion and the 6-pack abs and the perfect body and the boob job and all that, whatever the hell, like, how come you haven't manifested it? You're out here telling us all how to do it, and the only credibility that they have is because their channel has like 100,000 subscribers or something. That's insanity. You're basing someone's credibility off the number of subscribers they have to their channel. That makes them credible. That makes them an expert. That makes them knowledgeable in something because they had the balls to come out here on YouTube and just start creating content based on things that they enjoy talking about. Now they're the expert, they're the master. We should all listen to what they say because they have a high subscriber count. Like, that's insanity to me personally. And I'm not saying that everything that people who have high subscribers talk about. I'm not saying that they're all wrong. I'm not saying that they don't have some things right or a lot of things right, or that they're not experts about certain things. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying that this idea that we should blindly listen to people just because of their subscriber count is insanity. Because people do. People go out and they listen to these people and they take what they say like it's, like it came down from God itself. It's like, oh, okay, this is how you do it. But yet they have no evidence. There's no proof that the things that they're teaching you, they have experienced or applied or gotten the results for in their own lives. Now, if they can show me that they've gotten the result, or even better, if they can reproduce the result, then I will believe you. Show me the results of what you've manifested, or better yet, reproduce it. Say, okay, I'll show you. I because I've learned this. I can do it over and over and over and over again, right? Because if it worked once, it should work twice. It should work infinite amount of times. So I'm going to show you how I did it. Then I'll believe you. So some of you, I mean, I wasn't planning on saying all that. It just came through me. But the divine is saying for some of you, the reason that you're not getting and receiving is because you're not asking, but also, you have to be careful about who you're listening to, because you've corrupted yourself with information that is actually cock blocking you, because you're trying to do things, you're using tools and methodologies and beliefs and systems and all these things that have made something that's actually a lot more simple to do. It's turned complicated, or at least it feels complicated, and it feels confusing when it's really not. You just need to ask. You need to mean it when you ask and have like a belief, like, okay, I actually believe I can have it. And then understand that even if you ask and even if you mean it and believe it, that the third thing is the divine's not going to give you something if it's not good for you, even if you think it's good for you. Like, and always remember, delays are not God's denials. And sometimes rejection is God's protection. And that could just be for a season. Like if you ask for a partner, well, maybe you're not ready for a relationship yet. That doesn't mean you're not going to be ready for a relationship forever. It just means that right now you're not. $1 million. Well, maybe right now you're not in a place right now where $1 million is going to be helpful for you. But doesn't mean forever you won't be. Like timing. And it's not timing as arbitrary thing, like there's this magical date on the calendar that will come one day and then you can have it. It's not timing in that regard. It's the timing that has to do with you, which is everything that we've been talking about this entire reading. All the stuff I said at the beginning of this reading. If we don't change, nothing else will change. So if you want to speed up the amount of time it's going to take for you to get the thing you're manifesting, then work on yourself. That is the only shortcut. That is the only magic pill that I found in personal development and spirituality, manifestation, you name it. The closest thing to a magic pill is you changing yourself. And if you change yourself, then everything else will change. And that is the one thing that I have reproduced in my own life, is every time I've changed and I've made corrections and adjustments to who I am, and I've learned more and I've overcome things, then everything else around me began to change. That's the one thing that I know for sure, that I will stick a gun to my head and I have the same answer because I've done it, and it's reproducible. I can prove it. I can prove to all of you that if you work on yourself, that you will get a different result in life. You will get a different you, and you will get a different external reality. That's reproducible. And it works every time. It works every single time. And in fact, I can't find or think of a time in anybody else's life that I know who's been doing the same things where it has not applied. And I would challenge all of you to correct me if I'm wrong. If you wholeheartedly with complete, you play full out and you wholeheartedly invest in yourself and you change and you become a new you, come back to me and tell me that your life didn't change, that your feelings didn't change, your emotions didn't change, your health didn't change, your relationships didn't change, what you manifested in your life hasn't changed. Come back to me and prove me wrong. And then I'll change my belief. Like, okay, well, I was wrong about that. I can see you were doing all the things, you did them right, and you're playing full out. You invested everything in, and nothing changed, nothing at all. Absolutely nothing changed. I would love to be proven wrong in that. So, with that being said, this is what the divine wants you guys all to focus on and know right now. Now, I know this is a little bit of a different type of reading because it's not predicting like, oh, this is coming for you, this is coming at you. But this is more important than those readings, the generic readings that are telling you what's coming up for you. This is actually telling you what needs to change so you can actually get them. All those other people out there that are watching the predictive readings, like, oh, this is going to happen and this is going to come and this is what's going to happen. Those people aren't going to get any results because they haven't changed. Well, because you've watched this reading, and if you take this information seriously and you apply it to your life and you start to change things, then you will get those results. So you are actually ahead of the game by the fact that you've consumed this information. Now, the next most important thing to do is you've consumed it. Don't stop there. Apply it. And if you apply this information and you apply these things and you do some of the things that I mentioned, writing things down, journaling things, taking inventory, audit of your life, you will get a result. You will get a result. Mark my words. So hopefully this video has been helpful for you. Again, I know it's a little bit different, but this is what the divine put on my heart to share with you all. I hope that you guys have a powerful 11/11 portal, and hopefully I will get some comments. I would love to hear you guys' comments, your feedback, your comments about everything that about things that you're doing. And if you get a breakthrough or something changes in your life, please let me know. I consider you guys a community, not just subscribers, not just a random person who's watching this video. I want to hear from you guys. Leave comments. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what you're challenging. Tell me what's not working in your life. That helps me make videos for you that actually would help you. But communicate back with me. If you watch and you have a second, it doesn't have to be long. Just leave me a brief comment. Some of you do, and I appreciate that very much. And for those of you who've been around a while and things are changing for you, keep me updated. So I know what's going on with you guys. Like I'm here to be in your guys' corner. I'm here to serve you guys. I'm not just here. I mean, my channel is not nearly big enough to make a penny. I'm not here to make any money. I'm not even really here for subscribers. I'm here for the people that need to find my channel, that need to watch this content. That's why I'm here. I don't care about the other stuff. I really don't. If I cared about subscribers and numbers and all that, I'd be doing the same thing that all the other tarot readers are doing to get those types of numbers, right? I'm here for a very, very unique group of people who want change. You want change. You want the better life. And you're willing to do what it takes to get it. Those are the people that I'm here for, who take this seriously. You're not just a casual consumer, And if you are here casually consuming, that's cool. That's fine. No harm, no foul. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for those of you out there that are taking your life and your transformation and your destiny seriously. So hopefully that makes sense. But with that being said, that's it for this video. I'll be back soon with another video that the divine has put on my heart. So keep your eyes open for that in the next couple of days or so. That should be recorded and uploaded as well. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. All the other information is in the description box below. And as always, my friends,
I'm not a bloody psychic.